Hello and welcome back to The Sideline. I'm Rory Jones, and today I'm going to be discussing all things NFL and Germany. Now, for anyone listening, I'm pretty sure we can all agree that there are few feelings better than throwing a football. Now, today's guest is pretty damn good at that. So today I'm joined by Mona Stevens, the quarterback for Germany's national flag football team, also a global flag football ambassador, and an NFL expert at German network RTL. So, first of all, Mona, guten Morgen und herzlich willkommen. Welcome to The Sideline. How are you doing this morning?
Guten Morgen, danke für die Einladung. I'm doing very well. How are you?
I'm all good. Yeah, I mean it's pleasant weather over here, which is a nice change in London. What I'd like to discuss to start with is the news that the NFL is heading back to Germany this year. So this will be the fourth successive year, the fifth game, but this time the league is heading to Berlin for the first ever time at the Olympiastadion, home to Hertha Berlin. So obviously huge news. How excited are you to see the NFL returning to Germany for a fourth successive year?
I think I can speak for every NFL fan here in Germany. It's super exciting, and we all enjoy that the NFL is coming over and brought like everyone. I mean, we had the Chiefs and the Dolphins game. We had Tom Brady in Munich in the Allianz Arena. That was just incredible. And as we saw that like millions and millions of people were trying to get tickets for those games and come to the cities to get the NFL experience and try to be part of this. It's just incredible here. And I think this is not the last game, yeah.
It definitely seems that way. I think the league actually signed it said it's a multi-year agreement with Berlin. So clearly serious about Berlin. We've already seen multiple games in Munich in 2022 and then again last year and twice in Frankfurt too in 2023. I think also the league has done quite a lot on the grassroots level, or it seems to be working with the Berlin Senate to help grow flag football. I'm curious as well. Obviously, yourself, your own background as an established flag football player, it's fair to say. Do you think the grassroots side is almost just as important as hosting the game as well?
Yes, absolutely. I mean, we already had a lot of NFL fans over here, and we already have American football leagues for youth, for adults, for women's. But the flag football is growing, and I think with a step to brought flag football in school programs like the grass schools you talked about, this is really incredible to get everyone involved, because flag football is, you can play it when you're 5 year old or like 60 to 70-year-old. Like everyone can play together. Men and women can play together. You can play it in the backyard. It's way more accessible. And I think there are a lot of NFL fans over here who wants to try maybe American football, but they're scared of the contact and the roughness of the game. And flag football open doors for everyone. And it's so exciting. It's so much fun, and it's really accessible for everyone. So I think, yeah, the grassroots program and flag football growing so fast, being an Olympic sport right now, is just, bringing football on the board here in Germany and make it, the second most watched sport after soccer. So we're getting there.
Absolutely. I mean, you mentioned flag football being included at the Olympics. We'll come on to that slightly later. But the NFL is, as you said, I mean, I think it definitely has the capacity, seemingly, to be the second most popular sport in Germany behind football. But there's an estimated fan base of around 20 million, which is massive, really. And obviously, as a global flag football ambassador, you've talked about how accessible the game is. How do you see your own role personally in terms of helping the growth of flag football in Germany?
Oh, there are really different perspectives of my role. At the beginning, I was just a football fan and football player who wants to bring football to everyone. Who, when you go on the street here in the city and talk to someone, hey, do you know American football? Usually the Germans say, yeah, but I don't understand the rules. And I'm trying to help, like with RTL, our broadcast program, to help people to open doors and explain it's not so difficult. You can get involved, and when you're in, you never get out. And I think we just have had men in those programs, and as a female American football and flag football players, I can show everyone it's accessible for everyone. It's not only for men. It's not only a rough sport for men. We can play it too. Children can play it. Women can play it, men can play it. So I think from that perspective, it's really good to have a female ambassador to show it's for everyone. And yeah, I'm slightly getting in a role for a role model for youngers, and that feels really cool to see how they look up to me and ask what we can reach for. And I mean, my goal is it to go to the Olympics, and when I think about what can happen to those children when they see that it's possible from a sport that was not really recognized years ago to the Olympic program to be the second biggest sport in Germany, I think we're on a good way. Yeah.
That definitely sounds like it, doesn't it? I'm curious as well. How you mentioned being a fan, I think to start with. How did you first get into playing the sport?
Over my job, I was a physiotherapist, and I get involved here in my hometown in Saarbrücken to be the physiotherapist of an American football first division men's team. And I was here and just thought, oh my God, American football, 11 guys just running into each other, dumb people, like not thinking about anything. But then I get involved in that game, and I was just asking questions, how is working? Why do they throw those yellow flags? What is happening right now? And then the more and more contact I get, the more and more I felt involved in in the sports, and I felt the energy and how incredible every game is. So, and then I started a fun practice with the guys, and then I thought, okay, I have to play football. I need this game. I need to play this game, and then that was the beginning.
That's awesome. I think also what I find impressive is as a quarterback, because I mean, I think I speak for everyone that everyone, when they first start wanting to play the sport, they'd love to be a quarterback. And I think some people manage to maybe have a few pass attempts or a couple of practices where they get switched out to receiver or tight end, maybe. But obviously for you, it must have been pretty clear from the beginning you could really throw it. At what point did that become really apparent?
Usually, so at the beginning, I wanted to be a receiver. I want to run. I want to catch balls. I want to celebrate in the end zone for touchdowns. That was my main goal. And we have to build up a really new women's team here. So no one really could play football. So we all get together and figure out who's good for which position. Yeah, and I wanted to be a receiver. And then the first, I think, 6 months to 8 months, I played receiver. And then my coach wasn't really happy about the quarterback situation, because we had a few girls who wanted to, they could throw, but they didn't understand the game really well. And then my coach came to me and said, hey, Mona, you're a little longer involved into American football. You already know what defense is doing, what offense is doing. You know the game. Let's try this. And curious about this is like when in Germany, we had Bundesjugendspiele. It's a yearly school program where you have to, where you have 4 disciplines, like 800-meter run, short sprint, long jump, and throwing, I think. And in throwing, it was always the baddest, and it gets cut all the time because I really couldn't throw. And then I get involved to the quarterback position, and I worked hard for it. And I don't know where the talent came from. It worked, and I understood the game. And then, yeah, I felt that the position is really made for me and my character, so it fits very good, and I stick to it.
That's very interesting. I think, I mean, your journey overall is fascinating. I mean, to hear about. I think what I find awesome as well is you mentioned obviously being a physiotherapist by trade and kind of your entrance to the sport as kind of an outsider at first. Then you become kind of slightly curious, and now I guess we're 3 years out from the LA 2028 Olympics, where for the first time flag football will be incorporated as an Olympic sport. You mentioned that being one of your goals. Has there ever been a better time to be a flag football player?
I think the time for me and for everyone now, it's just incredible to see the journey. My football journey starts 11 years ago. And when I get involved into football, I felt like finally I found my sport. It took me physically, mentally. When I'm on the field, I'm not able to think about anything. When I come from my job to go to practice, I just have to be there because there are so many things going on. You have to get together, the routes, the defense systems. There's so many things, and it challenged me a lot, and I like that really much. So I'm in sport since I'm a children, and I just switched every sports whenever. But this is really what fits to me and what I really like. and I'm coming in with a lot of passion. I drove to camps, spent a lot of money, and trying to get more and more involved. And now the situation changes a little bit. It gets way more professional. We have so many more opportunities. Women have so many more opportunities. And now with the Olympic program, it happens when you get involved to it's a sprint, like Leichtathletik in German. When you go to sprinting, you know there are national teams, you know there are Olympic possibilities if you are good. But in our sports, we just started from nothing, just with passion, and now it's a part of my job, and I can live my dream like that. And for everyone who's coming next or being involved in flag football, the rise of flag football here in Germany, it's just incredible. We have over 100 more flag football teams in the league and another 100 in building. We are starting to get women, a girls only flag football league. It's exploding at the moment. It's growing so fast, and with those opportunities, the road is, yeah, I hope it's not ending now with
Absolutely.
Los Angeles. Like, we're working on getting to Brisbane or to Germany in 2036, whenever, growing the sports, because it's so much fun. It makes so many opportunities, and it's not only a men's sport. So,
I mean, just the chance to represent your country at Olympic Games is pretty incredible. Is that something that really motivates you as well, on like a day-to-day basis? Okay, 3 years out, 3 years time, I could be representing my own country, leading them out at the Olympics.
yeah, I never thought about that. It's a possibility for me, but when I heard that there's a possibility that flag football goes to the Olympic, and then the announcement was made, it was just, okay, now that's my goal. We have a road now, we have a straight road, and that's the end goal. And I'm trying to change my whole life to get the best training I get, to get the best opportunities I get, to make sure that the German national team will qualify, because the qualifying will be really tough. We have only 6 teams taking place at the Olympic Games. That's really tough. So we have to make sure that we develop now and we make it to Los Angeles. Yeah, that's the goal.
I think one aspect you've mentioned as well, which is definitely a key point, is kind of the inclusivity about American football. I think for a long time it's kind of held the stigma of being a very male dominant world, a very male dominated sport. As kind of like obviously a prominent female figure in the sport, how do you feel like it's kind of shifting now, and how important is that to kind of in sort of promoting the game through flag football, through a lot of these grassroots initiatives to kind of really grow the game and show that it's a game for everyone?
Yeah, absolutely. So when we look at the NFL and have some players like Jalen Hurts, I mean, he has 4 women in his program to get the best of his contracts, to manage whatever. And the more I get involved into those NFL players, the more I see that the females are doing more and more and more jobs, more manager positions, more general managers and the team. So the women get involved to it, I think, very fast. But from the flag football perspective, we can be top elite athletes in a sport that mentioned at the beginning as a men's sport, and now women just roll over it. And it's just really incredible to see that we have the opportunities and we are seen, and the NFL is recognizing that women are very, very important to the sport in all perspective. So, and I think, yeah, it's really great to see that there's a place now, and with the Olympic program and maybe more, like we have college leagues now, we have scholarships in USA for women, and there are so many more opportunities now, and everyone is helping out. You feel recognized, and that's really, really good.
Absolutely. I think what one other point as well would be, about which I think you mentioned, is the fact that American football could potentially in the future become the second sport behind football. I mean, it's no secret what Germany's #1 sport is, and in terms of ever overtaking football would be very difficult. Never say never, I suppose. But how far do you think the sport has come, as in from being something maybe kind of more of a peripheral sport in the past to being something that is so widely played now in Germany and really can challenge? I think what the competition be, maybe handball, hockey for that second sport.
Yeah, I think the growth was very, very, very fast in the last 3 to 4 years, and I felt it. I felt more teams. We have like the European League of Football here in Germany. We have more national teams. We have more international tournaments. So the growth only in Germany, it was exploding. Really, when I say exploding, we have so many more people involved. We have so many more football fans, and it's in all stages, people from, hey, I don't know American football, getting involved, and they are nerds now. They are watching the draft. They're just getting all analysis and all those stuff, and they're getting more and more people involved. And it's like, I think the growth, it's getting faster because everyone's talking about, we have it here in Germany. We have so great teams here in Germany, so great games, and so many things going on, and seeing that the NFL is taking care of Germany is really, really good. And everyone felt like, okay, you matter, and now you get involved, and you're not like just a fan or just a market. They make us feel special. So I think it's growing and growing and growing, because you see people down. We have a riverside here in Saarbrücken, where I live. And you see people throwing a football, not involved into football. Usually you just only see spike ball or soccer players. And now you always see footballs around. You're getting in contact more and more. And I think it's a thing now. And the market is just growing.
Do you ever see anyone throwing a football and in your head you're just really tempted to give them some advice?
Sometimes, but I don't want to give them an advice. I just want to run in and throw with them. Just like, hey, give me the football. I can show you.
I feel like that's the most American thing, isn't it, as well? Whenever you're out there, especially like, you see someone throwing a football. Usually I'm the annoying person as well that would just probably ask them to throw it at me. They'd never see me in their life, but...
Yeah, but that's in America, it's usually normal. They go into the backyard and just get some football family action, everyone throwing football around. In Germany, you grow up with soccer, but it changes now, and that's incredible. Like when you have a new sport, usually it starts slowly, and we have slowly process, and you heard about it and said, maybe I try it or get involved to it. But the NFL just coming here and bringing their best teams over, having games here, everyone is connected. We have German broadcasts, and we have really fun entertainment things in German television now to get to know or to get the people into American football, to understand the rules, to be open to it, and then you will never lose them. I never met anyone who get involved to American football and then say after a while, now it's boring, I leave. Never. I never met anyone. So if you with whatever, like golf or tennis, you watch it when it's going, when they have Masters or Wimbledon, and after that, okay. But with American football, when you're involved, you never get out.
I think also what I found particularly intriguing about the NFL in Germany is, you touched on this earlier, the level of teams that we've had play. I mean, obviously the first ever game, we had Tom Brady, the GOAT, playing for the Bucks. I mean, it doesn't really get much better than that. And I think back to the game in Frankfurt between, obviously, the Kansas City Chiefs, who would go on to win the Super Bowl that year. I believe that's your team.
Yeah,
I'm a Chiefs fan.
I'm not. Everyone say I'm a Chiefs fan. I'm a Patrick Mahomes fan, so
Okay,
I like to watch the Chiefs very well.
But you were able to meet Mahomes, I believe, recently, or at the game.
That was crazy. Yeah, that was an incredible moment, and I felt like a little 12-year-old girl meeting her superstar.
That's awesome. I think when you think about that in terms of growing the game, I mean, when you're bringing over fantastic teams, and I think that was a great game as well between the Chiefs and Dolphins, I think this is such a great, like, kind of almost commercial for the sport in terms
Absolutely.
of just seeing that.
Whole America was mad about Germany to get this game. And in the end, it was not very good, but everyone was jealous before.
I mean, the build-up was worth it, right?
Yeah.
But I think also touching on that in terms of what teams are looking to do, we've spoken about what the league, more broadly speaking, is, what their objectives might be. But in terms of NFL franchises, so there are 11 franchises now as of this year that have marketing rights in Germany through the Global Markets Program. The Green Bay Packers have joined the party this year, so they must have seen the success and wanted a piece of the action. But that's the most of any international market. Why do you think that is in terms of what draws teams to Germany, and why do you think that's clearly the biggest international market for these clubs?
Well, I think at the beginning, you feel like the NFL recognized Germany as a big market and a big fan base. So I think, yeah, there's a lot of money involved. Sure, if you are somewhere and the NFL is expanding all over the world, there is something behind it. But they want to be a world league, okay, and they want to have the whole world as their fan base, and they recognize that Germany is a very, very big and strong fan base.
Mhm.
When I was in Frankfurt at the game in the market, I met people just to come over to Frankfurt, hours and hours of train drives or highways to just be in Frankfurt, and they didn't have any tickets. They just want to be part of to see the NFL in Frankfurt, to see what they're going to do, what's happening around it, and they don't have any ticket for the game. So you see how involved people are and what people spend to be part of this. And I think that's what teams are recognizing, that there are so many things going on here, and there are so many possibilities for the teams to get involved in tournaments, in school programs, in girls league. We talked about that, and there are so many possibilities for each team, and I think they see the market, and I think it's a little bit of the money, but I think the growth here and the people here are very happy about that.
Absolutely. I think you make a good point there in terms of like it obviously it's financially beneficial for the league commercially.
Sure.
But I think also it's a win-win for everyone involved. I think for fans of the sport to have a game on your doorstep.
Absolutely.
I think also like there's this has this opened up quite a lot of opportunities for yourself in terms of working with some of these teams that have rights in Germany as well.
Yes, totally. I feel honored every time I'm involved in NFL things going on. When the Chiefs invited me to watch a game over there, or I'm talking to yeah, it's sometimes it's connecting. And when I get involved to people who are working in the NFL, it's totally crazy. You see it from outside and said, okay, that's very exclusive. That's very the biggest league in the world. And then you get in contact with the people, and everyone is so friendly and open and helps you and try to want to work with you. And like even Roger Goodell is like, I met him personally a few times, and he's super kind and nice, and everyone's trying to make everything happen to grow the sport. And I met Blue. Like, there's a little story about it when we talk about the Colts. We had the flag football finals in Berlin, and Blue was there, the original Blue. And at the beginning, I was really scared because when you see those videos with the pie, and I was like, oh my God, it's a mascot. It feels like a clown. And then there was a situation. He get hurt and
Oh no.
like on a finger, on the pinky. It's not really big, and I'm a physiotherapist, and then I like,
Yeah.
hey, can I help you? So do I have to check it? And then we talk to each other, and we like I get to know him, who's behind it, and that was really like everyone's so open minded. And then after they say, hey, Mona, if you want to come over to Colts game, whatever, and everyone's like involved and really open to things you can ask for, and they help you, everyone. And with that, it feels honored. I feel so honored to be in that and get to know everyone and be part of all those programs, because I think there are a lot more teams here in Germany who get more fan bases. Everyone gets more opportunities. When we talk about the Colts, we had the school from Saarland here where I live in Berlin who play for the Colts. So Blue was very involved to them, and after that game a few weeks, he come to Saarland and surprised the school class with Colts gear and stuff, and get the little fans. But yeah, we're getting there, and everyone's doing so great here, and this is so cool to see that and be part of it. It's just incredible.
That's awesome. I love that you continue to refer to him as Blue as well. Like, is that just like
Yeah,
his contact is just Blue?
he's crazy, really crazy, but I really like him.
That's awesome. I think it's one thing that fascinates me also is when you see some of these games. I remember, I think in particular, the New England Patriots. I think when they played a couple of years ago, the amount of fans they had in Germany was absolutely crazy. I mean, obviously, you've got Tom Brady, you've got the Belichick era. Obviously, a lot of success that came over the last sort of, I don't know, 2 decades or so until recently. But I think it's fascinating to see how some of these teams really connect with fans. And obviously, with the Colts, they played in Frankfurt a couple of years ago. They've since acquired marketing rights in Germany, I think 2 years ago. And yeah, it would be awesome to see how many Colts fans show out as well in Berlin this year.
Yeah, the thing is, when you see those big fan bases, I mean, we have those very two, like the Seahawks and the Patriots fan bases. It's from the beginning when you're able to watch football in German television, and the very beginning was the Seahawks when we have the Legion of Boom, and everyone's like, "Oh my God, the Seahawks are the best team ever," and then we got so many Seahawks fans, and then after that era, we had the Patriots era. So, and then there are so many Patriots fans, and you see the developing like official you have well, if the team is good, you get a lot of fan bases over here, and now you have the possibility to watch every game on game passes and whatever, and the fan bases are just growing. We have a fan base of the Colts, and we have a lot of really, really good clubs here in Germany getting connected, getting together. And yeah, I'm really excited to see how many people show up in the game. But to get tickets will be the hardest part for everyone, because like there are so many people who wants to get a ticket, not only fans of the Colts, like NFL fans in general. So it will be interesting, and it will be maybe interesting to see how many fans are around the stadium, like before the games. I think the NFL is planning a lot of things. The Olympia Stadium, behind the Olympia Stadium, there's a huge grass field, the Maifeld, and I'm really sure that they plan a lot of program, activation areas, whatever, to get everyone involved, maybe who has no tickets, or there will be public viewings and stuff like that around. I think Berlin is a good place for that. So I'm excited to see how many fans showing up. Yeah.
Absolutely. I mean, there's always plenty to do in Berlin, right? I think it's definitely a cool, it's a cool
Absolutely.
setting.
Yeah, I'm really excited how it's going and where games taking place and what teams they bring over. It's exciting.
Of course, yeah. I mean, I'm assuming you've got to be there, right, in Berlin this year?
I hope so. But I think I have a good chance, yeah.
Absolutely. I think just to finish with, I'd like to ask, like, in terms of, we've talked about the NFL staging its first game in Berlin. We've talked about the growth of like football, how that's going to be involved in the Olympics, and how, broadly speaking, that it's really showing that the NFL and football as a sport is becoming much more inclusive. Obviously, yourself as a player, as an ambassador, and really a face of the sport in Germany, if you like. How do you really see your role in terms of trying to inspire the next generation of both football players, flag football players, and fans as well?
When I think about my beginning of American football and the really beginning that I wanted to play American football, I was getting to the club managers here and say, hey, we want to build up a women's team. And they said, no, women are not allowed on football fields just to bring water. That was their words, and I was shocked about it because I really wanted to play so bad, and I was fighting for it. And I was fighting over a year and get more and more girls together to, yeah, we were at the end, we were a group of 100 women. I organized a whole team. We had coaches, we had team managers, we had everyone to say, okay, let's start now. And then they couldn't say no anymore. And that was just a little, when I, in that moment, it felt like normal for me to fight for my whatever dream. But when I think about it, when I think back to it and where the situation where I now, I mean, I'm sitting at the table with Roger Goodell or swapping jersey with Patrick Mahomes, and they say women are not allowed on football fields, and now we're talking about Olympics. So as women, especially, if anyone say no to you, that not means your dream is over. You have to fight for it, and there are possibilities. And to breaking barriers now for all those girls, maybe show them where they can get. So I think it can be inspiring for a lot of girls out there to see, okay, if you fight for it, if you keep going, if you just don't stop, if anyone say no, you have the chance to get wherever you want and chase your goals, so, and your dreams. And now I have a dream now, and if it's going to happen, if we are in Los Angeles in the Coliseum over there and just play flag football, it's just feel unreal. And I hope I can inspire a lot of women to get involved in a man-dominated world to be a part of it. Yeah.
Absolutely. It's really inspiring hearing that. And it's fascinating hearing your story as well, as someone who starts out as a physio in Thailand.
Yeah.
3 years time, hopefully we'll see you on I'm sure we'll see you on the field in Los Angeles. It's awesome to hear that. But Mona, it's been fantastic speaking to you this morning, and I really appreciate you taking the time. And yeah, wish you all the best. Thank you.
Thank you.